My name is Kathy Fosno and this is Kat's Creative Corner. Welcome to Tuesday's card. Today's card is a simple thinking of you card. I just embossed thinking of you. Please know that I care inside with my white embossing powder. I made it very feminine because the person I'm sending it to is a female. And so if you would like to change this up, you could use some blues or browns or some greens, something more generic. You wouldn't have to use the pinkish colors. So let's get started. First, we're going to need a piece of sweet sugar plum cardstock cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. You're going to also need a piece of, now let me remember how big it is. This is 4 by 3 inches, and this is a piece from, it's in our Occasions catalog, and it's Falling in Love Designer Series paper. I am in love with this paper, so I did fall in love. I love it. We're also going to be using one of our doilies from the same catalog on the same page, which is page 51 in the Occasions catalog. Okay, we're going to also be using some ribbon, and the ribbon is our stitch satin ribbon in Very Vanilla. Okay, so let's get started. We folded it on the score line, and then we're going to put this piece down. We're going to put it at the bottom, leaving about 1/4 inch at the bottom. Then we're going to take our ribbon and we're going to attach it to the edge of the second piece of sweet sugar plum, and we want it as close to the edge as we can get it. Just maybe leave just a portion showing, maybe 1/8 inch. And since I glued it on the back, the ribbon sticks, so I don't have to worry about sticking it in the front. Okay, I'm going to now attach that to the edge here, and I'm going to go a little bit over my other piece, leaving about 1/4 inch at the top to see. I don't know if you can see how I did that, but there's about 1/4 inch here, so I covered part of this piece, but I wanted to make sure I had enough, so I cut it to the size that I told you. Okay, now I'm going to take from the Timeless Textures, one of my favorite stamp sets, I'm going to take the floral, whatever it is, and I'm using Sweet Sugar Plum, and I just want to stamp on the top of it just a little bit. I just want it to kind of blend in. I don't want it to be something real obvious. So it's just light. Okay, and then I am going to glue my doily on, and our doilies come in 2 colors, Whisper White or Very Vanilla, and since I'm working with Very Vanilla, I'm going to use that side, so I'm going to tape the other side, and I'm going to put my doily right in the center, and then I am going to cut enough. We'll see how well we do this freehand. We're going to cut enough to tie a bow. Pull down your, what do you call those? The pieces that are sticking out. Pull them down, then tighten, then pull them down some more and tighten, and eventually you'll have a real pretty little bow that you can use. Okay, that's good enough. And I am going to cut the edges a little because I don't want it to be that long. And I like to cut them a little bit on an angle so that they have kind of a finished look. Okay, now I'm going to use glue dots, our mini glue dots. I'm going to use those because they seem to hold ribbon better than the adhesives. So I like that. And I'm going to put that right there in the center where I put the glue, so the glue is covered. And that part of your card is done. Now I'm just going to go inside with Versamark, and I'm going to stamp right in the middle the Thinking of You sentiment. And then I'm going to take white, hang on one sec, I'm just going to grab a spoon. I'm right here, and I'm going to put white embossing powder, and I'll just use a piece of scrap paper to do it over it. And you'll see the dish I'm using for this. If you watched last week's techniques video, you would know what I'm doing here. I put my embossing powder in this dish, and it just makes it easier. So I'm going to emboss that now. And it's fun to watch. We'll see if you can tell. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm just going to hold it till it starts changing. I don't want it to burn the paper, so I don't want it to stay too long in one spot. There it goes. So you can see it's got hot enough to start melting the words, melting the embossing powder, and so it rises up. And that is done. Okay, and then I wanted to do one more little thing. We have this stamp set. Oh, and I didn't tell you, the Thinking of You is from the Thoughts and Prayers set. It has Thinking of You, Please Know That I Care. This is a great set. It's called Thoughts and Prayers. It comes in 2 cases. I just combined mine. And it's a great set for sympathy, sentiments, get well. It's a really good set for something like that. Okay, I'm going to take my Sweet Sugar Plum, and on the back I am going to stamp, make sure I've got it the right side up. I do. Okay. I'm going to stamp Handmade for You and Sweet Sugar Plum, so it just has it in the very back just a little bit. That comes from our stamp set, Better Than Email, and it has all kinds of things you can stamp on the back. Handmade, it does have the Stampin' Up logo because they're stamping up stamps, just like Hallmark or whatever, you have their name on cards. And this is just kind of a fun one that you can make a little more personal. And that is your card. There's the first card. I hope you enjoyed this card, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. You can find complete directions for this card on my website at katscreativecorner.com. That's all K's, and you'll find a shopping list for this card as well. Thanks for stopping by.